afternoon. Thanks for joining us across the fence. I'm Jolie Whitney. If you have someone in your life who has food allergies like lactose or gluten intolerance, Chef Marco is here to help. This month, our resident chef, Marco Ayala, has whipped up some recipes for folks with dietary restrictions that don't curb the taste or prevent the whole family from digging in. Let's join Marco in the kitchen to find out what's so special about this month's recipes.
Thank you, Jolie. Hi, I'm Marco Ayala, and I'm here to share another recipe with all of you. Every year here on Across the Fence, we have a show that we call Food for Special Diets. And in that show, we usually present recipes for people that have food allergies. But as it turns out, those diets are not all that special after all, because food allergies are more prevalent in the US than we think. About 1 in 5 Americans have a food allergy. I guess among the most popular or like the most prevalent ones are wheat, dairy, soy, crustaceans, peanuts, and tree nuts. So on today's show, I wanted to find some recipes that are actually good, that you're gonna want to eat, but that also cut down on some of those ingredients that are sometimes kind of hard to take out, especially in a family setting, because someone has a food allergy, but then you have to still feed 3 more people, and it's kind of hard to be making like a small batch for just one person. So it's nice to have a recipe that everyone is going to enjoy. So on that line of thinking, the first thing that we do in the morning should be to have breakfast. So that's why I have a breakfast recipe here. Look at these egg muffins. Don't they look great? And you are going to be surprised to find out that there's absolutely no wheat or gluten in this little muffins. They do have a bottom here, like a crust. However, there's no wheat. So what's the secret ingredient? Well, let me tell you how to make them. First, you're gonna spray a regular sized muffin pan tin with cooking spray. Then you're gonna take about 36 tater tots. Place 3 tater tots in each muffin tin. Press down on them and smash the tater tots to make a crust. And that is our secret ingredient. Potatoes are naturally gluten-free. However, I always recommend that if you have a food allergy, to always read the packaging and make sure that it states there that the product there is gluten-free. Then you're gonna bake the tater tots at 400 degrees for about 10 minutes. Once you remove the tater tots from the oven, you're gonna lower the temperature to 350 degrees. Then, to a large measuring cup or a small bowl, you're gonna add 8 eggs, 1/3 cup milk. Then you're gonna season it with salt and pepper, and you're gonna whisk it well. And this is another opportunity for substitution, because if you're allergic to dairy, you can always use soy milk, you can always use oat milk, but if you have allergies to either of those, well, you can always use water, because water is going to give you the same result, which is a very nice and fluffy egg. Then you're gonna take about 1 cup cubed ham, and you're going to evenly distribute it in the muffin cups. Then you're gonna take some veggies of your choice. In this case, I am using a tomato, a green pepper, and some onions. And then I added about 1 teaspoon of my vegetable mix to each muffin cup. Finally, you're gonna pour the egg mixture evenly on all of the muffin cups. Then you're gonna bring your muffin tin into the oven, and you're gonna bake it for about 20 minutes or until a toothpick inserted near the center comes out clean. And this is a recipe that you can put together in a pinch, and the result is, as you can see, really, really nice. So no more excuses to not have breakfast, even if you have a food allergy. So now that we have breakfast out of the way, let's talk about a main dish. And sometimes it's kind of hard to find a recipe that everyone can eat. I work at an office where two of my coworkers have allergies to gluten and peanuts. So something that I started bringing is sausage because, well, sausage is obviously naturally free of gluten, and there's so many ways that you can cook it. And recently for a birthday, I decided to bring my take on sausage and peppers. And as I said, this is gluten-free, it is dairy-free, and it is nut-free. So let me tell you how to put it together and how to serve it. First, you're gonna take about 14 ounces kielbasa and you're gonna cut it into round pieces. Then you're gonna take one large sweet onion, you're gonna cut it in half, and you're gonna cut it into slices. Then you're gonna take one yellow pepper, one red pepper, and one green pepper, and cut them into slices. Then, to a pan, over medium-high heat, add about 2 tablespoons olive oil. Once it's nice and hot, you're gonna add your onions, and you're gonna cook them for about 2 minutes. Then you're gonna add the kielbasa, cook it covered, stirring occasionally until the onions start becoming translucent. Once the onions are translucent, you're gonna add your peppers. And I also added some frozen vegetables that had carrots, corn, and string beans. Coat them well, cover them, then you're gonna add carne asada seasoning to taste, and you're gonna cook it covered for another 5 to 10 minutes or until all the vegetables are tender. And if you don't have any carne asada seasoning, not to worry, because you can use taco seasoning, you can use fajita seasoning, or you can make your own by adding cumin, oregano, basil, salt, and pepper. So now let's serve it. Corn tortillas, and it's very important that you use corn tortillas because corn is naturally gluten-free, so you can serve it as tacos. And look at how nice that looks. And I wish you could smell it because it also smells delicious. So I hope you give this recipe a try. It's really great because my favorite thing about this, it's a one-pot recipe. So very few dishes to clean afterwards. Now let's talk about dessert. Desserts are hard because, well, a lot of desserts, require flour like cakes and pies and anything that has a crust. So let me head over here to the fridge and I am going to show you right out of the fridge this incredible dessert. Check that out. These are lemon bars. Yes, you heard that right. These are lemon bars that are absolutely gluten-free. So let me tell you how to put them together because trust me, you do want to try this recipe. First, to a mixing bowl, you're gonna add half a cup sugar, 1 cup butter, softened to room temperature, and 2 teaspoons vanilla. And you're gonna beat it until smooth. Then, gradually, you're gonna add 2 cups gluten-free flour with binder and 1/4 teaspoon salt. And you're gonna beat it well until a soft dough forms. Then you're gonna line a 9 by 13 inch baking dish with parchment paper. Then you're gonna take the dough and then you're going to evenly distribute it and level it all over your pan. Then you're gonna bake the crust at 350 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. And you're gonna remove it from the oven once it's nice and brown. And I'm gonna try to take this out here live in front of you guys. This may be a disaster, but no, look at that. It actually came out great. So, while I cut it, let me tell you how to make the filling. First, you're gonna zest 2 lemons. Then, into a glass, you're gonna squeeze 3 to 4 lemons. Then, to a mixing bowl, you're gonna add your zest and 4 large eggs. Add 1.5 cups sugar, your reserved juice, and 1/3 cup gluten-free flour. And then you're gonna whisk all the ingredients until they're well combined. Then you're gonna pour your lemon mixture over the cool crust, and you're gonna bring it back into the oven at 350 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes until the center is set and no longer jiggly. And that is it. Isn't that easy? And trust me, I wish you could smell this because they smell so nice and tangy. Let me take one out. And I think that it's really fun to be doing this right in front of you, right out of the pan. And check that out. Doesn't that look absolutely delicious? They came out perfect. They're nicely brown on the bottom. I can't wait to taste this. I'm telling you. The smell is so good. So, I really hope you give all these recipes a try for your own household, because trust me, you will never know that these recipes are either gluten-free or dairy-free or peanut-free. I think that they're just recipes that taste delicious and that you can share with now even more people in your family. And on that high note, I also want to remind you that even if you're on a limited diet, if there's ingredients that you can eat, that it's not stopping you from eating well. So check these recipes, check some of the recipes that we also have there on our website in the archives, because there's tons of great food for you and your family. So from my kitchen to your kitchen, happy cooking, and let's try one of these recipes.
Thank you, Marco. I can't wait to try some of those recipes for myself. Remember, if you want a list of this month's recipes or recipes from past programs, find them on the Across the Fence webpage. That's our program for today. My thanks to the crew behind the scenes who make all our visits across the fence possible. I'm Jolie Whitney. Have a good one.